the different cars and how it was to be inside them and how the whole experience was. Now, if you guys haven't seen the videos yet, check my channel, of course. You can see them all. But there were 4 cars. The first one was a Bentley Continental GTC, which, of course, is the convertible version of it. Then we were in a Ferrari F430 Spider, which once again is a convertible. Then a Audi R8 4.2, which is the V8 version, not the V10. And then a Lamborghini Murcielago. Not Murcielago, like most people say it is. I should pronounce it Murcielago. And yeah, so we drove for about 5 hours or so. We started in Miami, drove down near where Homestead was, and then we went around Boca, Beach, the whole East Coast area of Florida. And it was really awesome, I gotta say. We started in the afternoon, like 3 or 4. We came back around 8 or 9. And it was just a blast overall. Now, we started off with the Bentley, which I think was probably the better choice because we started in the city, and I think it's probably a much nicer car to drive that in the city than the Lamborghini. That being said, the Bentley was kind of the one I was least excited to drive, or to be in at least. Remember, I didn't drive any of the cars, but just because they're not common, but I see a lot more Bentleys around than I do any Ferraris and Lamborghinis. And of course, it's also the least expensive car. Actually, no, the R8 might be cheaper. New. Not usually, because the R8's older, but they're using incredibly well, and the Bentleys don't. Anyway, that being said, as soon as I stepped in, my whole perspective of the car just changed. It's unbelievably, incredibly luxurious. Remember, this is coming from someone, I used to have a 7 Series, and really meet my expectations of what I thought it would be. That being said, the engine was kind of the same way. Now, it's just the same engine from, like the Audis, and it wasn't designed for the R8. I think that's kind of the problem with it. It was designed for A8. And since that's an RS4, and since it's not really super engine, it didn't really behave like one. It had power. I often thought, and I heard a lot of people say that if you get an R8, you need the V10, otherwise the V8 is not fast enough. I don't think that's true. I definitely take that back. I think the V8 is well fast enough. It definitely has plenty of power. It's not lacking power at all. If you want the extra 100 horsepower and the V8 to noise, go for it. But to say you need it, no, absolutely not. That being said, the engine, you can tell the crash was not a supercar engine, and it didn't really seem to like to be pushed so much. But I don't know, I thought it was very comfortable though. It was a fun car too. The sound was bad. Wasn't fantastic though. Like I said, that didn't really great sound. That really helped that. Then finally we had the Mercedes. Lucky for us, we had that one the longest. And I'm really glad we did, because that car is just unbelievable. Now, this was not the LP640, this was the first generation Mercedes. And, not to say it's underpowered, it still has well over 100 horsepower. But I gotta say, that car has so much presence on the road, it's unbelievable. The second you open those suicide doors, that I think is just the entrance alone is already so spectacular. And then you start it up, and then you're like, oh my god, that V12 is just a screamer. Getting in, you just see leather, just leather all the way around. It's not very, it's different than the Audi. I don't think the interior wasn't really quite up to the standard, but I think it was kind of plain. It wasn't really anything exciting to it. I liked it, I thought it was cool, but it didn't really look super special. Just like a lot of leather. Not to complain about that, like I said, I thought it was very, but you didn't notice the plainness of it. There's not much there. If that's, maybe kind of the thing they're going for, I guess. Now, it had the E-gear, which many people kind of complain about, but I thought the E-gear seemed to work pretty well. Like I said, the car was a thriller. To give you an idea, we were driving, and we were following, we were very back at that point, so, we went all the way back, we hung back, and then we floored it, and we went into third gear. We took third gear all the way up to 130 miles per hour, and that was kind of unbelievable. I think that you're doing 130, and you only experience half your gears. That's kind of like, wow. This car will hit 60 in second, and that I already thought was very impressive. The fact that a car does 130 in third gear is just unimaginable. And like I said, the Ferrari really pulled. This thing pulls on an entirely different level. It was very smooth. Part of that was because of the V12. And when that thing gets floored, it's like you're in a spaceship. I don't want to get too nerdy, but it's like you're in Star Wars and you're going at light speed. It's just, boom, just the power. It just goes on and on and on. And it's so fast. That car really is just incredible. Anyone needs an adventure over 700 horsepower. I can't say I don't want to imagine what that's like, because of course I do, but I could not imagine, but it has to be just on a different level. Now, it was really cool because we switched 3 or 4 times. So anyway, we switched it 4 times, and every time we switched, of course, we drew quite a crowd wherever we went. You can imagine, it's a supercar. Like I said, that's part of the experience. It's not love that. I would do it every day if I could. Unfortunately, the budget doesn't really suit that, and it was in Miami. It's about a 3-hour drive for us. So doing that every day doesn't quite work. But like I said, I would really love to. It was unbelievably fun. This video has been going on for quite a long time now, so I think we're going to end it. But I didn't want to really talk about how the whole experience was, what I thought about it, just to give you guys a little bit of an idea. Like I said, there is still more footage coming up that I have. I went to an awesome event last night, which I have sweet footage. I'm going to show that. I'm not going to tell what it is. I'll play it these next couple weeks, but I think it's really exciting. That being said, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, I'd appreciate if you hit that like and or favorite button. To see more videos of me, definitely check out